The next topic piggybacks off
Yes.
of our time with the Maserati Grecale Trofeo.
Yes.
We experienced some interesting things. John, you tell them what your friends said, what our friends, I mean, we both know him. Tell them what your friend said when you sent him a picture of the Maserati.
Yeah, so I sent a picture to it, after it had showed up at my house. I was excited about this car. Obviously, it's a exclusive brand with an engine from their top level supercar packaged into something that you could live with on a daily basis, and I was super excited to test it out. I took a picture of it, and I sent it over to a friend of mine. And I said, this is what I'm driving for the next few days, and he just responded one word: lame. And it's really because it's got, I don't know, he's in his head where he's thinking SUVs or CUVs and performance don't go together. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And I think that's sort of a thinking of the past, right? I think, and I told him this as kind of a dig. I said, if this car came out 20 years ago when you were in high school, you would have liked it. So I was just trying to tell him, you got to open your mind a little bit. It's kind of weird. It's quirky. The idea of having this crazy engine in this car that you could take to the grocery store is cool. I mean, we all like fast station wagons. I think, in the future, there is a potential segment where these cars can be enthusiast cars. But I wanted to kind of open up to the floor here and see what do you guys think? Do you think that the CUV segment is just destined to be a mom-mobile, or, are they going to have real collector or enthusiast prowess in the future?
I face this dichotomy myself. And, like when you told me what he said, I was like, come on, man. Like, and I've had the pleasure of driving a few of these at this point, the fast, fun SUV, CUV cars. And I will say every time I'm in them, I enjoy them. They drive, kind of like big rally cars, especially the mid-size ones like the Grecale or the Macan or the X3M or something like that. Those cars drive like big rally cars. Like if you know what a WRX kind of experience is, it's sort of like that, but like bigger and more comfortable. But the same kind of performance, all-wheel drive, and like, the same type of way you drive the car. So like as a WRX guy, from way back, an STI guy, like, I appreciate that type of performance and that type of experience and what it does with a practical package. But at the same time, we had a great time. But every time I think about like, oh, would I pick up a Grecale Trofeo used, or maybe like a Stelvio Quadrifoglio or something with the same engine? Every time I think about that, is like, would I replace that my Charger is, like my fun practical car? Objectively, there's no reason not to. But then I think about the Giulia Quadrifoglio, and it's like, well, it's smaller, it's lighter, it's rear-wheel drive. It's still not manual in this country. They got manual out over in Europe. But, I think, and I'm like, I don't know. I if it was just my car, I'd probably have to go the Alpha, because lighter, lower, rear-wheel drive, probably a bit more fun. But that doesn't mean that the CUVs aren't fun. They're just a different kind of fun. And honestly, like my big thing was, especially like driving around with Gab and stuff, is the Grecale Trofeo. If we were in a situation where me and Gab were going to both be driving a car, that's where these make sense.
Mm-hmm.
You have to split a car with someone else who isn't necessarily into cars, but they will just drive it around like a normal SUV in comfort mode, and then you'll get it and put it in sport or Corsa mode, and you each do your thing with it. This car could do that. And a Giulia Quadrifoglio can't do that. My Charger really can't do that. She's driven my Charger once, and she's it's a lot of power to the rear wheels, and it's intimidating. This, on the other hand, comfort mode, it's just a SUV. The Grecale is just an SUV. So I mean, there's a usability there, but I understand kind of where the haters are coming from. But every time I drive one of these, I'm like, objectively, there's nothing to hate on here. These are great.
So this guy's probably about our age.
Yeah.
So I can kind of understand where someone like him is coming from because when I first heard that Maserati was making a small SUV, I had a similar reaction. I was like, really? Why?
I had that reaction when I started making the Levante. I was like, look at this.
Mhm.
Exactly. We all did because we all
Yeah.
grew up in an era where most sport utility vehicles, most, not all, but most, especially ones that were, especially, car-based ones, were looked at as hopelessly uncool. Were
Mm.
looked at as family haulers, the kind of thing where, when you hit high school, if you're driving one, you're probably a loser because it's the car that nobody really wants to drive. It's like, oh, this thing's uncool.
I think it's worse than a loser. You're like an NPC, right? You're somebody that has no
Oh no, no,
personality.
no, it's a loser mobile. NPC would be to me would be better because then you're just
No, man.
you
I
can
mean,
kind of fade away a bit.
at least today, dude, CUVs are literally the NPC car, and I think that's what's tough.
Oh, I'm going back farther then. I'm going back to like
you're talking about further. I'm talking about within
I'm
the last.
talking about like 2007, 2008. So like when the Nissan Rogue comes out around
Okay,
that
like the
era.
beginning of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Back
I'm
when
talking,
crossovers were still sort of new, and they were like,
yeah,
"Oh,
here
everybody's like, we're making a crossover too."
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
I see.
like,
Before
hey,
they got
I'm
played
gonna
out.
make one. I'm gonna make one. It's a you get a crossover and you get a
Yeah, yeah.
crossover and you get a it's the Oprah Winfrey thing. It's just for people like us, we look and we're like, okay, okay, great. And we're just in the background, you're kind of throwing up in your mouth a little bit. But here's the thing. That segment, just like and if we want to go back to the 90s, we had something similar going on with station wagons, SUVs, and with pickup trucks, where some of us probably laughed at the high performance versions of pickup trucks coming out in late 1990s. The SVT Lightning, we were like, well, what's the point of this? The SVT 10, maybe at first, when they first launched, there were probably at least a couple of naysayers who said, why? But those of us in the know knew that the engineers who made them were saying, why not? The Grecale Trofeo is a why not. It is a situation where the engineers said, we got this little compact truck. We're a company that built its name on winning races all over Europe. Why not? Why not make a fun version? And they weren't. And here's the thing: it's not like the Grecale Trofeo was the first one of these.
No, not by a long shot.
BMW had the X3 M Comp. Um,
Well, dude, it really started with
Alpha
the
beat them to
Macan, I would
market with
say, or the
yeah, the
X3
Macan.
back.
And the Cayenne too. I mean, when the
Well, the
Cayenne,
Yeah,
Cayenne's
the Cayenne.
bigger,
You're
but
talking to
yes,
size up,
yeah.
yeah, for
But when
sure.
the
the
Cayenne
size
first
level
came
up.
out, people thought that was like, oh, this is the end of Porsche.
Yeah,
They were like
Yeah, and
really
then
upset by that. But
people were furious. People
they
were
were
like, it was just
wrong.
lighting torches. And then they lit torches again when the Panamera came up. We're not talking about sedans here today.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you look back and you say, well, I think it was GM coming out with the Trailblazer SS back in '03 or whatever it was, like maybe '05, '06. We're like, well, what's this? But those of us in the know realized that there was something to it.
You know how I found out about the Trailblazer SS? Real
Oh,
quick
I
story.
remember this story.
I was in my
Sweet story.
Subaru
That
STI
kept up with
modded,
you, right?
and yeah, and like I just got on it. I was just trying to go fast wherever I was
Mhm.
going. I wasn't like racing or anything. I was just like, whatever. I'm just getting through traffic, and all of a sudden I go around this Trailblazer, and he like gets on, and I hear the V8 and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, look at this guy. But like, so I start, going, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's like keeping up, kind of like he
Yeah.
wasn't gaining, but I'm like, he's not flying back, and I'm like, what is that? So he kind of like traffic bunches up, and I get a better look at it, and it says SS on the side. I was like, whoa, that's interesting.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's funny. I
and
mean,
they
here's
are
the
cool.
crazy part about they are very cool.
Think about the Typhoon too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was about to
Well,
say
that
the
was way
Typhoon.
ahead of its time.
That
Way
was
Yeah.
that was 20 years before
Yeah.
prime time. And I think, believe it or not, I think this is a potential podcast topic that we're going to talk about later on down the road, which is celebrity car collections. I believe, and we can correct this in post. Michael Strahan has one.
I think he
He
does. Yeah.
he of well, where is it? There it is.
That
He
was one
of
of his
this
first
team's fame.
One of
I
his
believe it
first
was
trucks that he bought.
one of
Yeah.
his first cars that he bought after he joined joined Big Blue. Um, so yeah, I mean, those cars today are looked back at really, really fondly. The Grecale Trofeo is going to end up hitting that echelon along with a lot of its brothers and sisters from other brands. Here's the thing. The ho-hum stuff is the ho-hum stuff. That stuff's never going away. It's there for a reason,
Well, why do
and
you
it's not
think
going to go
people? Why
away.
are people antagonistic towards this? Because I do have one idea with this, and it goes with your least favorite car, Al. And actually, the
Which least favorite car is
car
that
you
again?
used to own, and your least favorite car, our least favorite car, actually. You owned a Fiesta ST,
Hey, I like that
right?
car.
Oh no, amazing car, awesome car. That was a genuine
Wait.
hot hatch, super fun. What did that get replaced by?
Oh God.
The EcoSport.
Oh God.
Now,
The
the
travesty.
EcoSport itself is not a great car, but it's probably not as bad as people give it. You know, people seem to make it, or we certainly us. But I think one of the
You're
reasons
gonna
why
make me
we hate
throw
that
this
car so
mug.
much is because it took the Fiesta from us. And I have an
Mm,
anger.
mm, mm.
What?
No, that's not why I didn't like it.
Why?
I think we need to make something very, very
Don't go
clear.
personal.
I won't. I won't. I promise I won't. I've driven one. I intensely dislike the way it drove. Here's the thing. Yes, they took the Fiesta from us to give us the EcoBoost.
For
Yes, that
me,
was an
that's the big
absolutely
thing.
dismal decision.
Yeah,
Now, I
that's
agree
the
that it
big
was
thing
a
for me. I really
really
don't care
bad
how it
move.
drives because I'm never going to drive one.
Here's the thing, though. I drove one on the way home from something where I was going, and I was thoroughly unhappy. I did not understand how you could make a subcompact or compact SUV with that lack of leg room in the front, which was truly awful.
Yeah, it's
Here's the
bad.
thing. It's hard to like a car where the driving position is fit for somebody who's been amputated.
And you're pretty short, and you're saying that. I can't even imagine
Yes.
sitting in one, to be honest.
Yes. The
Yeah.
pedal box, it's like they took the pedal box of a Lotus and then threw it in something that has the driving dynamics of, well, a barrel of cement that's been chucked down a hill filled with rocks.
But here's the thing, dude. Even if
It's
it drove pretty
horrible,
good,
man.
I think a lot of us enthusiasts would still have hatred for these things because
It doesn't even, and it's a
it helped
blob.
kill the Fiesta and the Focus. That's why I hate it.
Yeah.
I don't really care how it drives because it's not my type of thing I'd ever pursue, right? It took away cars that I actually am interested in
Yeah.
favor
No,
of
I'll
some
give you that.
bullshit that I'm not interested in and never will be. And I
My
think
issue
that
is that
across the whole industry is what we're seeing.
you're
And I think
not
that's
wrong
where a
about
lot of this
that.
malice comes from.
You're not wrong about that. That's a good point. And I actually don't aim the blame, the blaming stick. If I have something I can use here, I don't want to use that. I'm going to use that. I'm not going to aim the blaming stick
Okay.
at the manufacturers for that. I actually aim the blaming stick at the EPA because the
Yeah,
EPA, thanks to the corporate average fuel
that's
economy
true.
standards that kept getting more and more difficult to achieve. How do I put this correctly? Made it financially untenable to continue building passenger cars that got even halfway decent fuel mileage, but light trucks were held to a much more reasonable standard,
Yeah.
which is what gave us the abominations of, well, the Chevy Trax, the
Yep.
The Ford Eco not so sporty. See what I did there? The Jeep Renegade, which is about as much of a renegade as a newt.
My wife used to own two of those. There,
I am well aware.
that
That's why I
thing.
brought it up. I'm sure
Here,
Gab's gonna love me for
all right.
saying that.
Here's my take on the Renegade. I drove one for a lot of miles. It's a
Ugh.
great little package. The car itself is cool. I think it looks funky. It's interesting. It's practical. It works, right? It's easy to park and stuff.
Yawn.
But the drivetrain and the engine are dog shit. And I mean absolute dog shit. So like if it had a better engine in it and a better transmission and stuff, it could have been a decent little car for sure. But man, especially with that Tiger Shark 2.4, that thing was genuinely
It's a
dangerous.
rotten engine.
I lost a race to a Prius C in one, and that was one of the worst moments of my life.
It could have been worse. You could have lost the race to my cousin's Prius V with both of her children in it.
Yeah, because then the kids would have been laughing at me as she pulled away. But if they, look, if they had made a Jeep Renegade SRT with like a little 2-liter turbo in it and proper hand, actually it did handle pretty well. It steered pretty well. It was all
My
right.
God, what if they threw the Abarth powertrain in that?
Well, they did.
With the
That was
6-speed.
they did throw that in there, just not like fun wise.
No, it was at a
They
lower
threw
state
the
of tune,
Abarth
wasn't it?
engine in it as like the I won't even say a base motor, but it had that, but it without the
But it was
growling
detuned, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just whatever in it. You know what I mean? But no, they
Man.
never had fun. They never really like had fun with that car. And I think that's some of these cars when they're too pedestrian, there is no that's why we say NPCs, right? Is it's literally the most bland type of car you could buy. And then Maserati comes out with the Grecale Trofeo, and Porsche
It's almost
comes
as
out
if
with the Macan turbos and stuff like that.
it's
Before
almost
the
as if the
EV.
compact crossover market for so many years has committed one of the 7 deadly sins, which I think this one would have to be sloth. Because the problem is all of these compact crossovers, and there's exceptions, we brought them up already. A lot of them, and this is what poisoned our minds as enthusiasts, were so mind numbing for so many years that
Yeah.
whenever we see, oh, it's a compact crossover, there's Facebook groups that have probably been around for at least 2 presidential administrations ripping on this kind of thing.
Yeah.
That they're driven by, NPCs. And a lot of them exude, well, ultimate energy. Particularly, I think RCR put it best, which is problems created by them and for the people around them. Just it's tragic because the thing is, my sister-in-law Rachel had Mazda CX-5s for a while until she had the second child and she got a CX-90. They're not bad in terms of practicality. They do they're there to do a job, they do it well.
And
Are they
ergonomics. They're
interesting?
easy. They're easy to get in
Yes,
and out of. Yeah.
yes, they are.
They're
They're
comfortable.
very easy to get into and out of,
Yeah.
But are any of them interesting? For many
Well, yeah,
years, the
a
answer
lot
was
of them are now.
flatly no. There's interesting ones out there now. What I want to see, what I really want to see happen, and thankfully Hyundai sort of lit the match on this, and I'm glad they did, with the Kona N. More of that. I want to see
Yeah.
more hopped up, hot rodded, cool and fast and fun to drive compact crossovers that don't break the bank. Because the Grecale Trofeo is a wonderful machine, but it is also not cheap to buy new, and the resale value is iffy. Ergo, it's not a smart financial buy for most people who make less than $100,000 a year. We
I
need to
think you got
see
to make more than
vehicles.
that.
I'm
You
just
got to make a
throwing that
good
number
ways
out there
more
as
than
an
100
example,
grand a
Nick.
year these days to afford that. I think, dude.
But here's my point. For people who make regular people money, and there's many people out there like that, we all know who they are.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm
Most.
probably one of them. We need, let's say, come on, Toyota. Give me a Gazoo Racing RAV4.
Yeah, that's rumored actually.
That'd
I
be
think.
cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Supposedly that might
I
happen.
mean, Dodge
We'll
stopped
find out.
building the Hornet, but if Dodge were ever to make a Hornet SRT and just go nuts, make it the Hornet GLH for God's
Well,
sakes.
the
Bring
problem is
back the Shelby
nobody bought
package.
the Hornet to begin with,
Well,
so
because
that's
they
not
marketed it like they said to themselves, "Well, we'll just sell this," and it was marketed. You know what? I think I finally hit the nail on the head with the Hornet. And Nick, it's okay if you don't get this reference, although you being in marketing, I think you will. John, I know you will. Would you say the Hornet was Dodge's new Coke moment?
Come on, Nick. You know the new Coke.
That could be fair.
A product launch so botched, so hated, so reviled by the general public that the company did an about face.
I'm going to tell you right now, they just didn't understand their customer, because I drive a SRT Charger,
You could,
and they sent me a pamphlet. I
bro,
can't find it. I need to find it. But they
you
sent me a
probably burned
pamphlet
it.
that had a Hellcat, Charger, and Challenger with a Hornet coming up between them. And it said, keep the ride going. Like they're the same fucking thing. And I was like, you guys really don't know your customer at all, do you? Like, what the hell are you doing?
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it was awful. No, their marketing on it was terrible. It was like, guys, like they just had no idea what the hell they were even trying to do.
And you know what's really
They
sad
also
is
made the Charger electric, which was really a bad idea, as it turns
the
out.
clip. The problem is you can't clip me taking my glasses off and doing this, but now you can because, oh my god.
Yeah, dude, it was bad. It was really
Yeah,
bad.
no, I
I
know it
think
was
some of
bad.
this
We all
stuff is
lived
these
through it. It
guys,
was
these
freaking
people don't
hard.
know how to market these CVs. Because here's the thing, actually, by all accounts that I've heard, the Hornet itself actually wasn't like that bad of a car at all.
No,
Like I
it
heard they
wasn't.
were
It was
actually
just,
decently fun, decently quick. Like they're all the things that we're saying
well,
are pretty
it's funny.
fun.
So
It's
you're
based on an
kind of
Alfa
making
Romeo. Like it's not a bad car. It just was priced too high and
Yeah.
not marketed well at all for what it was. All right, so kind of summing this up, I view these fast CUVs and SUVs as like hot hatches. If you like a Volkswagen GTI, you probably should be open to liking a fast SUV like a X3M or a Grecale Trofeo. They're way more expensive, obviously. And Albert, you were right about the the Kona N. It would be nice to see more, $30,000 to $40,000.
I mean, come on.
Type
If
SUV.
Chevrolet is going to continue to ruin names like the Blazer and Trailblazer with these crossovers, which look at Ford. Ford did an Edge. They did an Explorer ST, which I think was a success. And I think wasn't there also
Yeah.
a sportier version of the Edge that came out for a couple of
There
years?
was the Edge ST. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they did any. Was there? I think it was more of a trim package than a performance package.
No, it had like a more powerful engine in it.
Okay.
I forget how much power, but it was
I
nice.
remember. You know, it's funny.
And
Now that you mention
supposedly
it,
it handled really well too.
I remember kind of poking fun at that 5-6 years ago when it came out. I was like, "This is stupid."
Well, it still looked like an Edge. There wasn't a good.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly
car, but
cool.
I remember hearing people say they handled pretty well. Like,
yeah,
not bad.
because the thing is, the Edge is another. Actually, the Edge is my second least favorite SUV of all time.
Oh, Ford's not doing too great with you.
Yeah, no, they make a lot of good products, but the Edge for me, the engine was not a problem, the handling wasn't a problem. It was the seats. Just
We had one of
it
the
was
earlier ones as a rental car, and I just remember like just the ergonomics weren't there, and every time he got out of it, and it was just this big balloon of a thing. It was just like,
well, my problem was I had a 2020 model that I was driving while my work truck radiator was being replaced. Because I had the Edge, then I had a Tahoe right after that. The Tahoe I loved. Tahoe was great. Then again, it's kind of hard to hate the Tahoe, in my opinion. Tahoe's a pretty good truck.
We're off topic. We're way off topic.
So my point is, just as
we're
good
not
or
even
bad
talking
as
about
VST
fun
could be,
SUVs. We're talking about shit SUVs. So.
Well, I guess that's where I kind of want to bring it, because I think it's easy for these to get like into the mix of like, the sheer amount of CUVs that are out there. But I think the cream rises to the top, right? I think at the end of the day, the really special ones are going to continue to be special, especially when they put a crazy engine like they do in this one. We can look historically at like the Typhoon or the Mitsubishi. What's the name of that? The Pajero?
The Pajero with the
like
Evo
that's crazy.
Pajero Evo,
and that's a real
those.
collector
so
car.
Cool.
Yeah,
and there's
that's true. We're starting to see it.
So I think
if you could
look at if you can look at like a fast station wagon, or like Nick, what you were saying, like a fast hatchback, I think you should really consider these as potential enthusiast cars and current enthusiast cars and potential collector cars maybe in the future.
And they're actually some of the best bargains on the market because a lot of people don't really consider them. Like you can get a Stelvio Quadrifoglio with a 20K range right now. And I mean, you're going to have a little bit of maintenance to do there, and
worth it.
Some of it maybe, don't stretch your budget to get to one, but if you're looking for something that's fun and has like a rally car type of experience, but that's practical and everything, like that's a hell of a car. If you can afford like a $40,000 car, buy one of those for 25 and just put a little work into it. And you got a 500 horsepower, really, really fun to drive SUV that is an alpha. And it's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie. So yeah, I think I'm definitely coming around. Every time I drive one of these things, I'm like, yeah, these are cool. I'm officially saying it. Fun SUVs are just as fun as pretty much any other fun practical car. I'm just gonna say
It's fun is fun. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Enjoy the darn ride, man.
You don't have to go nuts. You don't have to go,
Yeah.
be contrarian about it. Because some people hate things just to hate things or whatever. But it's like,
That's right.
now these things deserve
Redditors.
some respect, and they deserve to be seen as legitimately fun, because they are.